About the anatomy and physiology for the GNM first years. So, in this we are going to discuss about the unit 7, that is digestive system, and in the last class we have seen about the mouth, and now we are going to discuss about the tongue. So, tongue also it is the one of the part can be involved in the digestive system. So, tongue also it is the one of the part in the digestive system. So, tongue it can be used, it is a voluntary muscular structure and that occupies the floor of the mouth. So, the voluntary muscular structure. So, tongue is it is a movable and it is a voluntary, there is a movement can be present in the tongue and that occupies the floor of the mouth. So, the tongue can be occupies the mouth of the floor of the mouth. So, total mouth the tongue can be situated and it can be occupies the floor of the mouth and it is attached by its base to the higher bone. So, the tongue is become occupies the floor of the mouth and it can be occupies and floor by the attachment by its base to the higher bone. So, the tongue can be attached to the base by the higher bone. So, higher bone can be situated at the anterior part of the neck. So, between the mandible and the thyroid gland. So, there is a higher bone. So, by this higher bone, the tongue can be occupies the floor of the mouth and by a fold of its mucous membrane covering called the frenulum of the floor of the mouth. So, and it can be covered by the mucous membrane and the tongue is become covered by the mucous membrane. It is called as the frenulum to the floor of the mouth and it is called as the frenulum of the floor of the mouth. So, the mucous membrane anteriorly 2/3 of the dorsum of the tongue is rough due to presence of microscopic projections called papillae. So, the anterior part of the tongue it can be formed the 2/3 of the anterior part of the tongue it is become rough. So, because of there is a microscopic projections can be presence over the anterior part of the tongue. So, the projections called as the papillae. So, it is called as papillae. Anterior part of the tongue and 2/3 of the anterior part of the tongue and become rough. So, because of this there is a presence of the microscopic projections called as papillae. So, it is about the tongue. So, tongue means there is a voluntary muscular structure. So, there is a movement can be present in the tongue. So, because of this it is called as voluntary muscular structure that can be occupies the floor of the mouth and it is attached by its it can be attached by its base to the higher bone. So, the tongue is become attached to the floor of the mouth by the higher bone. So, higher bone it is nothing but there is a situated can be anterior part of the neck. So, it can be situated between the mandibular and the thyroid bone. It can be situated anterior part of the neck. So, by this higher bone the tongue can be occupies the floor of the mouth and there is a covering layer of the mucous membrane. It is called as frenulum of the floor of the mouth and there is a 2/3 of the anterior part of the tongue and it is become rough. So, because there is a microscopic projections can be present over the anterior part of the tongue, it is called as papillae. And the next one is there is a 4 types of papillae can be present over the tongue. So, the papillae includes the circumvallate papillae and the fungiform papillae and filiform papillae and foliate papillae. There is a 4 types papillae can be present over the tongue that includes the circumvallate papillae and the fungiform papillae and filiform papillae and foliate papillae. So, in the first one there is a circumvallate papillae. So, there is a circumvallate papillae, it is become large and round shape. So, the papillae, circumvallate papillae become round shape and it is become large and it is mostly easily seen. So, the circumvallate papillae become mostly visible. So it can be seen very easily and it can be situated at the base of the tongue. So the circumvallate papillae, it is become large and round shaped, and there is a mostly we can see, and there is a situated at the base of the tongue. And the next one is fungiform papillae. So the fungiform papillae, it is become red and the mushroom shape. So it is become mushroom shape. So it is become red in color, and the fungiform papillae, it is mostly present at the tip of the tongue. So at the tip of the tongue, it helps in the tasting of the food. So the taste buds can be involved in the fungiform papillae. So fungiform papillae, it is become red in color and the mushroom shape, and it is become mushroom shape, and the fungiform papillae can be present at the tip of the tongue and it helps in the tasting of the food. So along with the fungiform papillae, the taste buds can be involved for the tasting of the food. Next one is filiform papillae. So the filiform papillae becomes small and the cone shaped anterior 2/3 of the tongue can be formed by the filiform papillae. So the filiform papillae is become small and there is a cone shaped, and anterior 2/3 of the tongue can be formed by the filiform papillae. So anterior 2/3 of the tongue can be, the filiform papillae can be occupies over the tongue. So next one is foliate papillae. So in the foliate papillae, it is a become thin and long papillae. So it is become V cone shape. So it is like V cone shape. So it is a foliate papillae. It is become thin and the long papillae and V shaped, V cone shaped papillae has called as foliate papillae, and it is become, they does not contain the taste. So it can be, the foliate papillae can be present at the sides of the tongue or back of the tongue. So there is no taste buds can be involved in the foliate papillae. So by the foliate papillae, the taste cannot be, the taste buds cannot be involved in the foliate papillae. So the foliate papillae, the foliate papillae become thin and the long papillae, and it is become V shaped and don't contain the taste buds. So in the foliate papillae, the taste buds cannot be involved, and it is can be present at the sides of the tongue and back of the tongue. So it is about the 4 types of the papillae. It includes the circumvallate papillae and fungiform papillae and filiform papillae and foliate papillae. So next one is the muscles of the tongue. So the muscles can be involved in the tongue. So the muscles includes the intrinsic muscles and the extrinsic muscles. So the intrinsic muscles can be involved in the inside of the tongue formation, and the extrinsic muscles can be outer part of the tongue can be formed by the extrinsic muscles. So the intrinsic muscles includes the superior longitudinal muscles and inferior longitudinal muscles and the transverse muscles and the vertical muscles. So these are the muscles can be involved in the formation of the tongue. So there is a intrinsic muscles, and the next one is the extrinsic muscles. So the extrinsic muscles includes the geniglossal muscles and the hypoglossal muscles and styloglossal muscles and the palatoglossal muscles. So the geniglossal muscles can be involved, and the muscles can be runs down to the inferior part of the tongue. So the geniglossal muscles can be run in base of the tongue. So it can be forms the mass of the tongue. So the total the tongue mass can be present, the tongue mass can be formed by the geniglossal muscles. So the hypoglossal muscles, it is become situated inferior part of the tongue. So at the base of the tongue, the muscles can be involved, and the styloglossal muscles also can be involved in the formation of the the tongue mass. So these are all the extrinsic muscles. It includes the genitoglossal muscles and the hypoglossal muscles and styloglossal muscles and the palatoglossal muscles. So it is about the muscles of the tongues. So it includes the intrinsic muscle and the extrinsic muscles. So next one is the arterial supply. So for the tongue there is a arterial supply, includes the supplied by the longitudinal arteries. So the blood supply to the tongue by the longitudinal arteries. So longitudinal arteries, it is a branch of the carotid artery. So the carotid artery can be situated at the sides of the neck. So from the carotid artery, the branches is called as longitudinal arteries. So by this longitudinal artery there is a blood supply to the tongue. So it is about the arterial supply, and the next one is the venous drainage. So in the venous drainage, the vein drains into the internal jugular vein. So jugular vein also can be situated at the side of the neck, and from the jugular vein and the venous drainage, the vein can be drains the blood from the tongue into the internal jugular vein for the oxygenation of the blood. So the venous drainage includes the vein can be drains the blood from the tongue into the internal jugular vein. And the next one is the nerve supply. So the nerve supply includes the supplied by the hypoglossal and the mandibular nerve and the glossopharyngeal nerve. So these are all the nerves can be supplied to the tongue. So the nerve supply by the hypoglossal nerves and the mandibular nerves and glossopharyngeal nerves. So these are all the nerves can be supplied to the tongue. So it is about the arterial supply and the venous drainage and the nerve supply to the tongue.